A very good evening to you and welcome to the news. I am Ebere Ugunna. In the news tonight, House of Assembly Committee on Trade, Commerce and Industry pledges to partner the ministry to improve internally generated revenue. Over 800 people from Awka North and Njikoka Council areas benefited from the Governor's Wives Empowerment Program. 10 people feared trapped in a building collapse in Jabi, Abuja. 164 people killed by flash floods in Kerala, India. And now details of the news. The State House of Assembly Committee on Trade, Commerce and Industry has pledged to partner the ministry to improve the internally generated revenue of the state. The chairman of the committee, Dr. P. Tibida, gave the assurance during an oversight visit to the ministry. House of Assembly correspondent Chukwemeka Modelim was there and now reports.
Dr. Ibida, who led the committee to the ministry, explained that their visit was to carry out their oversight responsibility as enshrined in the Constitution. He also revealed that the exercise would enable them to assess the 2017 and 2018 budget performance of the ministry, ascertain their challenges with a view to profiling solutions. The committee, however, commended the Commissioner for Trade, Commerce and the Industry, Dr. Christian Madbuko, for the success he recorded in revenue generation, urging him not to relent. Welcoming the committee, the Commissioner, Dr. Madbuko, appealed to the committee to encourage the ministry by allocating more funds to enable it execute more projects geared towards improving the internally generated revenue of the state. The committee also visited the Anambra State Investment Promotion and Protection Agency, ANSIPA, where the chairman, Dr. Ibida, expressed the commitment of the committee to synergize with the agency to drive the economic blueprint of Governor Willie Obiano for the state. After questions and answers that centered on the challenges of the agency and its 2017 and 2018 budget performance, other members of the committee, Honorable Chidi Udemmado, representing Ihiala constituency, and his Idemili North counterpart, Mrs. Nkoli Mmegwaneze, charged the agency to strive and surpass their previous achievements. Receiving the committee, the managing director and chief executive officer of ANSIPA, Mr. Jide Ikako, informed them that ANSIPA has, through front direct investment and domestic direct investment, attracts external and internal investment to the state. In Awka, Chukwemeka Modelim, ABS News.
Over 300 people have been empowered by the member representing Onitsha South Constituency 2 in the State House of Assembly, Honorable Beverly Nkemdi Chekbazu, during one of her constituency empowerment programs for 2018. The empowerment program, which cut across youths, men and women from her constituency in respective of party affiliations, was held at the constituency office at Oguta Road, Onitsha. Correspondent Njideka Okoye covered the empowerment program and now reports.
That was the atmosphere at the arena as people of Onitsha South Constituency 2 receive empowerment items worth over 8 million naira from the House member aimed at helping them become self-reliant and employers of labor. The empowerment items include 2 cars, gas cookers, ovens, deep freezer, grinding engines and grinders, dryers, hair washing basins, barbing kits, health kits, sewing machines, and lots more, while 210 people received cash empowerment of 150 and 30,000 naira respectively. Addressing the gathering, Honorable Nkemdi Chekbazu, who assured her readiness to sustain the tempo, noted that she is toeing the path of Governor Willie Obiano and his wife Osodieme in helping people, adding that the empowerment program is meant for the constituents to better their lives, urging them to make good use of the opportunity.
Empowerment to people is something I do all the time. By something called constituency empowerment, that means I'm empowering everybody in my constituency We go from ward to ward and collect names of people that need help or that need to be empowered. And from there, we call something I've done before. My first time I gave the youth motorcycle. The first time they've experienced the dividends of democracy. So I'm very glad to be doing this. It's nothing new. They are used to it.
In their separate speeches, the National Organizing Secretary, All Progressives Grand Alliance, ABGA, Chief Mike Kwento, and the Zonal Chairman, ABGA, Anambra North Senatorial District, Chief Chinedu Nnatuanya, commended Honorable Kemdichi Bazu for carrying the people of her constituency along.
It's only a gentleman of congressive project. No project about it. And I gave them power. I'm also the youth. But the middle class, but the old music and power.
It makes me proud to wear this kind of occasion. A house member, spending a lot of money to empower the party people, not just Africa, but across the political parties and the
The Transition Committee Chairman for Onitsha South, Honorable Emeka Asanya, and the Chairman of Odakpo Landlords Association, Chief Anthony Ndubizu, maintained that Honorable Kemdichi Bazo has been giving the people quality representation, urging her to sustain the tempo. Speaker after speaker at the empowerment program eulogized the lawmaker for her contributions to the people of the constituency and prayed God to bless her abundantly.
I'm part of what can accomplish either as a member of parliament and also in her attempt to reach out to empower our constituency. She has done fabulously well and I'm proud of her.
Ebube Chineke kuchiri Damascus ya kuchie ya n'ezinụlọ ya ajọ ụmụ ajọ mmadụ ọbụla sụrụ aka ọjọọ n'ebe ọ dị arrested by the fire of
God. Distribution of the items formed the highlights of the event. Njideka Okoye, ABS News.
And away from that, over 800 people from Oka North and Njikoka Council areas have received household and educational items from the wife of the state governor, Chief Mrs. Ebele Chukwuobiano. The gifts, which were presented to widows, aged women, indigent women and children, as well as the physically challenged, was a supplementary benefit of the 2018 Community Empowerment Tours to the 21 council areas of the state. Correspondent Dan Ezegwe takes the story from here.
Items presented by Chief Mrs. Obiano, who was represented by the wife of the Deputy Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Mrs. Sylvia Oseke, were bags of rice, wrappers, cash and educational materials, including school bags, exercise books and math sets. A cross-section of the beneficiaries who begged their elation while receiving the items said the governor's wife's kind-heartedness towards the poor will be rewarded by God and history. They prayed God to enrich Chief Mrs. Obiano's pockets of kindness, adding that her maternal love is worth emulating. In her address, the governor's wife thanked the council areas for remaining supportive of the goals and initiatives of the current administration.
Those beneficiaries of your laudable economic empowerment program are recording remarkable progress in your economic endeavors. Now, please permit me to use this wonderful opportunity to express our profound gratitude to our working governor, Chief Dr. Willie Madablo Chukwuobiano, for his developmental strides in our state and Oka North in particular.
Earlier in their separate opening remarks, the Transition Committee Chairman of Oka North, Chief Emeka Onwuzuka, and his Njikoka counterpart, Honorable George Ozo, noted that Chief Mrs. Obiano's continuous reach out to the less privileged is an unarguable sign of motherly love and compassionate care.
The wife of the governor, Chief Mrs. Obiano, is a marvelous woman. She was sent to come and look after us. She's wonderful. She's an uncomparable woman. I don't think she's doing in Nigeria. She loves her people, her children. In fact, she loves Anambarians. What she's doing, I've never seen it since the inception of Anambra State Government.
Been trying to reach out to very down to. She has over the years shown that she is a mother, a committed mother at times, helping out those who are very poor, down to less privileged in society.
On their part, the member representing Oka North at the State House of Assembly, Chief Boniface Okonkwo, member representing Njikoka 1 constituency, Dr. Timothy Ifediorama, and his Njikoka 2 counterpart, Chief Peter Ivida, said the event portrays a definite picture of people-oriented objective. From Njikoka Council Headquarters, Daniel Ezigwe, ABS News.
The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU Owerri Zone, has called for adequate funding of universities to reverse the deplorable condition of most institutions in the country. In a press conference in Awka, the zonal coordinator of the union, Comrade Uzo Onyedenama, called on stakeholders to ask the proprietors of Ladoke Akitola University of Technology, Lautech, Oyo State, to intervene immediately and take the pathetic funding crisis in the institution and improve the welfare of staff and students to avoid truncating the future of university education. Paul Ezoke has details.
Nama lamented that Lautech has continued to have problems of poor funding since 2013 due to failure of Osun and Oyo state governments who jointly own the university to take responsibility of funding the institution. He noted that the university has not received subvention for a long time, depending solely on funds from tuition, and is presently owing months of salary and academic allowances arrears, where there is no evidence of infrastructural development. The union leader noted that despite several visitation panels and recommendations, the proprietors of the university have not implemented any of the recommendations.
Lautech has continued to have problems of very poor funding since 2013 due to the failure of the owner state governments of Oyo and Osun to take responsibility to adequately fund that university. That university currently owes staff 10 months salary arrears. For long, that university has not received any subvention from the owner states and has depended solely on funds from tuition.
He called on the state houses of assembly of the states to streamline the ownership status and provide permanent solution to the challenge of gross underfunding. Comrade Nama explained that what affects a branch of ASU affects the entire union and made it clear that while they are exploring options of peaceful resolution, the union will not hesitate to back the Lautech branch to embark on total and indefinite industrial action as a last resort. Academic Staff Union of Universities, Owerri Zone, comprises of 5 universities in Anambra, Imo, and Abia states. In Awka, Paul Ezoke, ABS News.
And away from that, Community Development Initiative of Enugu Community is being demonstrated in the ongoing free holiday classes for over 600 primary and secondary school students of the community and beyond. The traditional ruler of Enugu, Igwe Ralph Ekbe, who went round the 5 centers to monitor the exercise in company of the President General, Chief Boni Ozo Nkwaku, said the initiative is part of the community's efforts at complementing government's efforts in education and child development. Correspondent Eji Kavanaugh is on hand with details.
They said the joy of the exercise is the blend of Enugu children with children from other communities and states across the Federation, which he added creates avenue for integration while assuring of aiding to drive more support for the project. The traditional ruler applauded the dynamism of the present leadership of the Enugu Development Union under the President General, expressing optimism that next year's long vacation classes will be better as its benefits are enormous for the children, their parents, and the society at large.
During holidays, if you allow the children roam about, they commit crimes, indecent habits. But if you change them academically, you have succeeded. You will bring them to the path of rectitude.
Speaking, the President General of Enugu Development Union, Chief Boni Ozonkwa, revealed that the project is part of his administration's promise at inception, stressing that the aim is to create a learning environment for the youths to keep them away from social vices that usually happen during the holidays, saying that the curriculum is organized in a way that the students will be taught other aspects, including Igbo customs and traditions, beyond the normal literacy.
We have 3 experts that do that on every Friday. They go to classes, teach them about marriage, culture, institutions in Enugu, the Igwe, the President General, and the relationship of Enugu with the neighboring towns.
The coordinator of the holiday lesson, an employee with the State Post-Primary School Service Commission, Mr. Sochema Wadiobu, pointed out that from experience, some difficult aspects of the school curriculum were identified and addressed by the holiday teachers, expressing optimism that it will be an annual event.
Some of the teachers here pointed it out and developed means that they can be able to understand it. You found out that they meet a lot of friends here who impacted positively on them.
The holiday classes, which will end on first week of September, is concurrently holding at St. Theresa Catholic Church, Emmanuel Anglican Church, Orabuke Central School, St. Anthony's Catholic Church, and the Civic Center, all in Enugu town. The kids were happy to receive the traditional ruler and his team while sharing what they learned from the lessons.
Labor-based. Example, in the olden days, when there is no technology, labors are not divided. Transmission of power, belt drive, gear drive, chain drive.
From Enugu in Njikoka Council area, Ejike Abana, ABS News.
About 10 persons, including women and children, were feared trapped under a building which collapsed in Abuja today. Report says that one person died when the 4-story building under construction collapsed on the workers and food sellers in Jabi area of the city. It was gathered that the building had been abandoned for over 15 years by the owner, who recently mobilized workers to continue the construction of the structure. Officials of the Federal Capital Territory Development Authority have arrived at the scene to commence the rescue of the trapped victims. And moving on to the foreign scene, report says flash floods and landslides have killed 164 people in Kerala in just 10 days as torrential monsoon rains continued to batter the southern Indian state. The death toll has steadily risen over the past week as rescue workers scramble to reach thousands of people stranded by flood water. The Army, Navy, and Coast Guard have been sent in to assist, and fishermen have been asked to help with rescue efforts. According to India's National Disaster Response Force, which has deployed 53 teams across the state, 13 of Kerala's 14 districts remain under a red alert, the highest warning level issued during emergencies in India. The senior commander, National Disaster Response Force, Rekha Nambiar, said over 1,000 personnel from military and disaster authorities are now involved in the rescue mission, while over 100,000 people have been forced to seek shelter in relief camps. Search and rescue efforts have been further complicated by limited transport railway tracks and roads are too flooded to use. And operations at the international airport in the city of Kochi have been suspended until Saturday. The Indian Ministry of Defense has deployed 158 boats and 23 helicopters since August 9. And on sports, FIFA has said that Ghana's government has pledged to stop the process to dissolve the country's football association over corruption allegations. Earlier this week, football's world governing body gave Ghana until 27 August to withdraw a court case or face a global ban from football. A Ghana High Court petition brought by the Attorney General to have the Football Association liquidated came in the wake of a film alleging corruption. FIFA said the two sides had on Thursday agreed to work together to offer leadership in reforming football administration in Ghana and in Africa. And that's it on ABS Television News tonight. But remember that you can listen to news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by logging onto our website, www.absradiotv.com. Like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/ABS Radio Television. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ABS Radio TV. And just before we go tonight, a quick reminder of our major stories. House of Assembly Committee on Trade, Commerce and Industry pledges to partner the ministry to improve internally generated revenue. Over 800 people from Awka North and Njikoka Council areas benefited from the Governor's Wives Empowerment Program. 10 people feared trap in a building collapse in Jabi, Abuja. And on the foreign scene, 164 people killed by flash floods in Kerala, India. And that's the size of our package tonight. Many thanks for watching. I'm Ebere Ugonna.